how every day doesn't feel the same, but it's hard to differentiate the days one from the other. Welcome to our mindfulness meditation. On this Wednesday, we're going to be continuing to look through the Torah to find our spiritual explorations. And we've been looking really at Chukat. It's a double portion this week, and I wanted to concentrate for a moment on Balak. Balak is a king who hires a sorcerer named Bilam to curse the Israelite people. Bilam, all he says is, listen, I can only say, and I can only do what God tells me to do. Bilam is actually the only prophet in the Bible that is not kind of tied to the Israelites. And so Bilam, in fact, goes, first he says, no, that part's a long story, but what I want to get at for our meditation this morning is, he's sent to curse Israel. He says, I can only do what God puts in front of me. And he goes up onto this mountain overlooking the Israelites. And instead of cursing them, he blesses them. And so, there's a lot of commentary about this. But I've been trying to think about it in terms of how it informs us in our mindfulness and our meditation. There are many times when we think one thing's going to happen, right? I've talked about this as our thoughts are just rumors, right? So in my mind is, I'm going to go curse these people. But when Bilam gets there and he looks down at everybody, in fact, as it were, God is putting these words into his mouth so that he blesses the Israelites and doesn't curse them. And the way I think of this is, for our purposes, we have in our mind's eye what we think is going to happen. But the emet, the truth, is what is. Even though he went to curse those people, you can't curse something that is blessed. And once he saw the emet, the truth, he could only go in one direction. There is a prayer called Ashrei. I've used this teaching many times recently. And the third line of it is, Ashrei ha'am shekacha lo. Happy are the people, Ashrei ha'am, shekacha lo. That kacha is for him, meaning for God. Happy is the person, shekacha lo. And the way to read kacha is, what is? Kacha is this, whatever it is that's perched in front of us. Kacha lo. This reality of this moment is God. This reality of this moment is the truth. What we try to do many times is control the truth. We want it to be so that we win. We want it to be so that there's an outcome that's positive for us. And so I think, actually, I'm going to add to that. Sometimes when we fantasize about a moment coming up, it's the opposite as well. We think of the worst possible scenario. This is going to be horrible for me. I'm never going to be able to make this. I'm never going to be able to do it. Kacha lo. What is the truth, this very moment, that belongs to the universe. That belongs to everything, and it is the truth. So that no matter what we think we're bringing into this, once we get to that moment in our lives, it doesn't matter what we've been thinking about that moment. It doesn't matter if we've rehearsed it in our mind's eye 100 times. What happens? Kacha. Shekacha lo. Happy is the person that can sit in this truth and know that that's what is. There is a theology that I have ascribed to at different parts of my life that is, anything that happens is God. God is in every experience. God is every experience. And God is the unfolding of the truth throughout our lives. There was a while where I really liked thinking about God that way. That's how, the boxer can say, oh, God was with me. And the boxer who lost, that boxer can also say, God was with me. Because the God of the boxer who lost, still it is. He can't leave the ring and say, I won. Shekachalo. What actually is, that's the truth of life. So perhaps there's been some things that you've been, I dare to use the word fantasize, because fantasize is kind of, has a kind of dirty connotation, but any kind of fantasy is whatever you're conjuring up in your mind that isn't necessarily the truth or isn't based upon fact, right? So we come into any situation or many situations, or we're in a life situation where we're fantasizing what would be our victory, or we're fantasizing, boy, this is going to really set me back. And what we're trying to do is find the truth. What is this real moment in my life? How is it affecting me? Why am I feeling so angry about it or sad about it? Why do I have a negative feeling about it? Why do I think I'm going to win? These kinds of questions of why and where it's leading us. And then once we've reached that moment, did the moment meet the fantasy that we had, or is it just what it is? And are we able to allow that to be for now? Because that's what is. Shekachalo. Ashrei ha'am. Shekachalo. Happy are the people that understand that what is belongs to everything. And that's what is. I hope that that was easily understandable. And why don't we head into our meditation? We're going to concentrate on our breathing. And then, I might call out at some point just a simple phrase, what is the truth? And wherever you are in that moment, what is the truth of that thought? What is the truth of that moment for you? Maybe we'll do that a couple of times and see how that kind of bounces off of you. And then at the end, we get to say, may I feel luminous and may I feel loved. On Wednesday, it's important for us to feel as if we have this light inside of us and that we have this love inside of us as well. So, I hope we're ready. We're going to be just breathing normally. You don't try to change it. Don't try to fix anything. And please just allow your body and allow everything to be just as it is for now. Get in a position you like. My trusty bell. Just normal breathing. If you feel like your body needs to take a bigger breath, by all means take that bigger breath. These aren't laws, they're invitations. There's no wrong way to do this. I'm sure your mind has taken you away already. Just a little bit of a reminder, and I invite you to bring yourself back to your breath with love, no judgment. It's completely normal, natural for your mind to work. It's used to doing that. So with chesed, with kindness, bring yourself back to your breath. What is the truth? What is the emet? Where does the truth lie? As you take yourself back to your breath, what you were thinking about, was that true? Undeniably? So as we continue to sink down into stillness, it's time to ask for a couple of feelings to come over us. The first feeling is, may I feel luminous? And the next one is, may I feel loved? And I think what I'd like to add on to this is, as you say this today, put a little smile on your face. You know, sometimes that's hard to do, especially when you're not feeling like smiling. But may I feel luminous? May I feel loved? It does brighten you a little bit just to have a smile on your face. Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav says that if you're feeling depressed, all you have to do is smile, and the rest of your body will follow. It's a little more complicated than that, but I like the idea that a smile does help make you feel a little better, and to feel luminous and to feel loved certainly are things that one can smile about. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. May I feel loved. May I feel luminous. May I feel luminous and loved. With each breath, offer yourself one of these feelings. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. If you'd like to invite someone to be in front of you in your mind's eye and offer this to them, may you feel luminous. May you feel loved. May you feel loved. May you feel luminous. May you feel luminous and loved. And after you've offered that to somebody that you care about, there might have been someone you don't care about so much, but you offer to them, may you feel luminous, may you feel loved. Let's bring it back to ourselves. Take some breaths. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. Do that for a couple of breaths, and then we'll go back to concentrating on our breath for our last minute or so. And for our final moments together, let's just go back into our core and our stomachs, our breath, and the movement that our breath brings about in our body. Just be in the present. No need to fix or change. Every gurgle, every crack, every breath, every person who understands that the truth of this moment belongs to the universe. The truth of this moment. Thank you for joining me. May you feel luminous. May you feel loved. Have a beautiful evening.